difficult to hear. In a little more than a month, 5 college athletes have taken their own lives, including Lauren Burnett from South Fayette.
Athletes are among those now raising the important issue of mental health, and not just because of those tragedies and those deaths, but because so many are now speaking out about their own struggles. Sports anchor Jenna Harner is live with a sobering look at why. Jenna?
Here at PPG Paints Arena earlier this year, the Penguins wore stickers on their helmets with the initials MB, honoring Maverick Baker, a high school hockey player who killed himself. It seems that across sports these days, mental health has become a prominent topic of discussion.
That voice that was there for me, protecting me, could have been my guardian angel, could have been God. It saved me from making a mistake.
7 years ago, on a chilling December night, former Pitt wide receiver Trey Tipton had one thought dominating his mind. I don't want to be here anymore. I just want to die. He walked to the Fort Duquesne Bridge and stepped over the railing. As he was getting ready to jump, ready to make the pain he was feeling so vividly just disappear, his foot slipped, and instinctually, he caught himself.
Once I almost fell off, I realized this is not what I want to do. This is not the person I want to be. And I realized I had to fight back.
That decision was one that didn't come easily to Tipton. He didn't want to be anyone's trauma.
Man, if I didn't tell them that I had a problem or that I had an issue, they'd have lost me and didn't have any idea on why they lost me.
Stories like Tipton's are one we're sadly hearing all too much of recently. Since March, at least 5 NCAA Division I and II athletes have died by suicide, including South Fayette High School grad Lauren Burnett.
We live in a generation and time period where we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So let's give them a chance. You know what I mean? Let's give them a chance for 2030. Let's give them a chance for the 2020s, right? So I think what we have to really do is come together and speak up. Don't be quiet, speak up.
There's an emphasis more now than ever before on erasing the stigma associated with mental health, the conversations surrounding it, and the honesty behind the daily struggles. Those conversations are being driven by athletes in the national spotlight. Olympic swimming great Michael Phelps opened up about his depression. Simone Biles withdrew from the team event in the Tokyo Olympics to focus on her mental health, feeling like she was carrying the weight of the world on her shoulders. And just 2 months ago, Ohio State football's Harry Miller announced he was medically retiring. In a post on Twitter, he revealed prior to last season, he told his coach he intended to kill himself. On the Today Show, he shared his message to anyone experiencing those same dark feelings.
And I would just say, hope is just pretending to believe in something until one day you don't have to pretend anymore. And right now, you have all the logic, all the rationale in the world to give up on it. But I would just ask, pretend for a little bit. And then one day you won't have to pretend anymore. You'll be happy.
So why are athletes on the forefront of the mental health discussion these days?
We're just fed up with feeling negative. Like, we're fed up with allowing everybody else to tell us who we are. Instead of saying, no, this is who we are, this is what we're going through, and I need help. I feel what these athletes have done has given the rite of passage to say, like, we're not superhuman, we're just humans that do something a little bit more super.
Pittsburgh's Dr. Amy Kimball agrees. She was the mental performance coach for the U.S. women's hockey team in Beijing.
The human should always come before the athlete. Being an athlete is a big part of who they are, but it's not all that they are.
For Tipton and many athletes who struggle with depression, anxiety, and other mental illnesses, the why behind some of them speaking out and speaking up now stems from those negative thoughts that crept into their minds during the darkest of times.
I got to the point where I was like, I'm not losing to me anymore. I don't care what it takes, I'm just not. Even when it's hard, when it gets worse or it gets terrible, which it has been in the last couple of years, you know what I'm saying? I'm not scared of that, that's okay.
They're now the ones grasping the reins, taking control of the narrative, and admitting they're going through a very serious problem they need help with. The ripple effect is a noticeable one, and one that could reach down to any adult or child who's struggling.
When you see these big name athletes saying, I struggle. I could still perform and do well, but under the surface, I was struggling. Other athletes are able to see themselves in them and say, I'm going through that too. Like, if he can admit it or she can admit it, then I can as well.
That night on the bridge 7 years ago, an unknown voice saved Tipton's life. And now, all he wants to do is be that voice for those struggling who need it most.
You know, there's a kid out there right now who feels like they can't talk about what they're feeling or what they're going through. And God forbid something happens to that kid. I want to be able to be the person where they're like, if he can do it, I can do it. If he could say it, I could say it, right? So it gives people that window, gives them that opportunity to feel comfortable in their own skin again. I want to be that reason.
Now, something Trey told me that really stuck with me was that when negativity tends to fill up, you tend to overflow. And when you overflow, that's sometimes when you do things and feel things you might not understand. That's what he went through and why he decided to speak up. And now, as he does so to many people across the Pittsburgh area, he hopes his message and its reach will be a far and impactful one. Guys?